Hi, my name is Reeshedah Brown. I am a hairstylist of 30 years. I am from San Diego, California, and I now reside in Las Vegas. I did do 2 decades in Sacramento, California. I am 49. I'll be 50 in June.
Can you share a favorite childhood memory that still brings you joy?
A childhood memory that still brings me joy. Well, I grew up in the 80s, so that's when neighborhoods, we could play outside till the street lights come on. And I remember just hanging out with my friend Shanetta Evans. And me and Shanetta used to always play like the Canyon a lot. And Shanetta was play cooking, and Shanetta put the Canyon on fire. That was one of my childhood memories that I remember the most, because we had to go tell our parents that we put the Canyon on fire. So that's one of my childhood memories that I still laugh about. Where we have a lot, but that's one that's very vivid. That's what came to my mind when you asked me that.
What is one of the most meaningful compliments you've received, and why did it stand out to you?
One of the meaningful compliments that I received as me being a hairstylist is making over people. That's why I've been in this stylist. I've been a hairstylist for so long, because I like people. I like to make people feel good and look pretty. And when someone tells me, you made me look 20 years younger or 30 years younger, that's a compliment for me as a hairstylist. And I do it often. I do a lot of makeovers, but I like that as a compliment as a hairstylist. That lets me know that I'm doing my job. I'm making you look good. I'm making you feel pretty. And that's a good compliment, I should say.
Since we're on the topic of you being a hairdresser, what inspired you to start your business, and what has been the most rewarding and challenging part of being a hairstylist?
Well, I grew up with aunts doing hair, and so I would go to their hair salon and work and get my hair done. Then the next day I would go home and do my friends in the neighborhood hair. So it was just easy for me, and me getting to hair kind of fell in my lap. My mom was like, you gotta go to college, you gotta do something. And I did a whole bunch of ROP classes, and I just felt like none of them really grabbed me. And then my friend was like, let's go to beauty school. And I'm like, yeah. And so I did it, and I stuck with it, and I love it, and I enjoy it. The worst part is that you deal with a variety of women from every ethnicity. Every ethnicity gets extensions. And, sometimes you find yourself being a chameleon, because you have to kind of shift yourself to give them great customer service, even if they're not being the nicest, or they're just really dry or just really blunt. You still have to be your best. And the days you come in, you don't feel like even doing hair, but you got to get up and do your job and give good customer service, because that's part of your job as a hairstylist. My job is being a hairstylist is you have to give great customer service. Customer service is everything to me, even when you're going out to eat or just, going to the drive-through, going to the dentist's office. Customer service is very essential. So that's the worst part, just having to be a chameleon sometime to adapt to your client.
What painful experience have you went through that you never thought was possible to recover from, that you don't mind sharing with us?
The loss of I lost my family, my 2 brothers, my mom and my dad, within a 5-6 year ratio. And I just didn't think, the last person who passed away was my dad. I didn't think I was going to recover from that. I still have my moments, but I lost both of my brothers 35 days apart. That was just a shocker, and I think my body just went numb. And then I covered it up by taking care of my dad, who had dementia. But first my mom passed, and then my 2 brothers passed, and then my dad got dementia, and I took care of him until he closed his eyes. But just losing my whole family, all I have left is me and my sister. And I think you don't ever get over it. You just learn how to deal. So every day you just learn how to deal without having a mom, a dad, or your brothers. Like, it's just me and my sister. So I think that's one of the most hardest things that I never thought I will recover from, is like losing my whole family, majority of my families. Yeah.
What do you see as your legacy?
I see myself with my legacy as when someone says my name, they laugh and they smile and they remember memories with me making them look good and feel pretty, and me just being an outgoing person. I do a lot of community service with the American Cancer Society. My volunteer job is to help the women put on their makeup because, they don't have lashes or eyebrows or, anything like that. So my job is to make them pretty by showing them how to put their makeup on. And all the makeup and stuff is donated from different companies like Chanel, Bobby Balls. Everybody donates to these packages for these women who have cancer, who cannot maintain their beauty because they're going through, chemo or whatever. And I just feel like, when they say my name, they remember, hey, that girl showed me how to put makeup on when I was going through cancer, or she helped me style a wig, because that's part of the Cancer Society is they have a wig bank and you get free wigs when you're diagnosed with cancer. You just take your diagnosis to the cancer center and they'll give you free wigs. And my job was to help them find a wig that was pretty much close to what their hair, because they've lost their hair. So just me helping them look good, feel pretty. That's what I want my legacy to be.
What does raising the bar mean to you?
Raising the bar means to me is overcoming. Going through something and overcoming it and giving your testimony to let people know that you have made it, and that because you went through something, it didn't, it broke you for a while, but you got back up again. And that's life. Life is not going to always give you sugar. Sometimes you're going to get some lemons thrown at you, and your job is to make lemonade out of the lemons that are thrown at you. It's not easy. It's easier said than done, but I think raising a bar is just sharing your experiences, hoping that it helps someone else who's going through the same thing.
If your life were a book, what would its title be and why?
If I had to write a book, it would be called Sitting in Reeshedah's Chair. And why is because I have so many stories of me being a hairstylist. Since 1994, I got my license, and here we are in 2025. So I have a whole lot of stories. I've experienced so much, and my book will be called Sitting in Reeshedah's Chair, because I would have so much to say in my book about sitting in my chair and my experiences.
That's good. I like it. And the train. All
right.